I'm going to show you a couple exercises that are fantastic for working on your posture, and if you're having neck and upper back issues, specifically post-baby, sometimes in those first few weeks after the baby, and even extending longer after that, your upper back can just feel like it's one big ball of knots. So some of these stretches are really great to do to alleviate some of that pain, and not just for those that are post-baby. Anyone who tends to carry their tension in their upper back, in their shoulders, and in their neck, these stretches are perfect for that too. So you're going to start by either grabbing a chair. I'm going to show you on a physio ball. So you're going to sit on the ball, and you want to sit with really good posture so that you're nice and straight. Sit up really straight. And we're going to start with the easiest stretch to do. This is just an upper trap stretch. So your upper trap muscle runs from about right underneath your ear to the top of your shoulder. Okay, so right at that bony part of your shoulder. So that muscle directly down the side of your neck is what we're going to stretch here. So sitting up perfectly straight, I'm going to have you take your right arm and set it behind you. So it's going to be like this. So your right arm is wrapped around. That's going to anchor that right shoulder. Okay, so that arm is wrapped around. What we're going to do is tip the head away from that shoulder. Okay, we're just going to let it tip directly to the side. Make sure you don't drop your chin or don't look up. Okay, we're just going to tip the head directly to the side, and you'll immediately feel that stretch down the side of your neck. And if you feel like you want to ease into that stretch a little bit more, take this opposite hand and just lay it on your head, just for the weight of the hand. You don't want to use this hand to pull your head down. Just the weight of your hand on your head is enough to get the stretch. Okay, so you should feel like a long length between your ear and your shoulder. Okay, now to change things up just a little bit, hold this position. Now we're going to take your chin and look up to the ceiling. So this is going to get more into the front of the jaw, or a muscle called your SCM, sternocleidomastoid, which is kind of a fun muscle to say, but this one can carry a lot of tension too. This is more on the front of the neck. So let's release out of that stretch and try the other side. So take this arm behind you, wrap it around so that this shoulder is anchored down, and we're just going to tip the head away from the shoulder, keeping your chin level with where it was. So you're just kind of pivoting around your chin. Lay this hand just for the weight of the arm, and it should feel like you have that deep stretch from ear to shoulder. Remember to breathe as you're stretching. And then go ahead and let the arm go, and then we're going to take this chin and just look straight up to the ceiling. So you should feel that stretch more up in the front of your neck. Okay, so those are two stretches. We're going to go back to the first side and do a little bit different stretch. This stretch is going to start to feel right where most people carry their tension or carry those knots, the levator scapula muscle. So instead of right on the top of the neck, this one is going to travel more into, from the base of the head into the top of the shoulder blade, right down where you feel like all you want is just someone to get their thumb in there to work out some of those muscles. So to get a stretch in that particular muscle, what you need to do, sit up perfectly straight, and you're going to turn your head without dropping your chin. Keep your head straight. You're going to turn your head to a 45-degree angle, so look out at an angle, and then look straight down. And again, if you need to anchor this side, you can, so that that shoulder stays down. Now you might not feel quite as much of a stretch right here if you aren't particularly tight. If you are tight, you definitely will feel this. To get more of a stretch, take the arm from in front, and you're going to take your hand directly in line with your nose, okay, and kind of cup your fingers on the back of that bump on the back of your head, and just again lay your hand there, so just the weight of your arm is pulling your neck into that stretch. And then go ahead and breathe. Very gentle stretching here. So you can release out of it. Let's do the other side. So you're going to turn your chin, 45-degree angle, tip it down. You can wrap that arm around to anchor your shoulder, making sure it doesn't lift. And then to get a deeper stretch, just use the weight of your arm on your head. Okay, so that's your levator scapula stretch. Now after we've stretched kind of your neck in these positions, we're going to stand up and use a pole or a beam and stretch your upper back. You can use, I've got a nice beam here like this. You can also use a railing for the same thing, or even a doorway or doorpost works well. But we're going to stretch more of the big broad muscles of your upper back. So you're just going to reach around the pole and you're going to lean backwards. Feet are planted right at the base of the pole. Don't be stepped away from the pole. Feet are pretty close to the base of the pole. Reach your hands around, and you're just going to let your shoulder blades pull apart. Stay fairly upright here. Don't tip forward quite yet. We'll get there. But this one is just going to feel like a stretch between your shoulder blades. So a couple of deep breaths here. And then we're going to deepen the stretch and go ahead and let your hips sink backwards. Now the stretch is going to travel. You can lower your hands if you need to. The stretch is going to travel up into your lats, which you'll feel in your armpit area. And you can even twist to the side, look under your shoulder. Twist to the other side, look under that other shoulder, under that other arm. That will give you a nice big upper back stretch. Now we need to be complete, okay, so very thorough. We just stretched your neck and your upper back, so everything down the back side. Now frequently what can cause all of that tension and all of that excess, those knots and the pain that comes in your upper back is from a tight front. So your pecs and your chest are really tight and pulling those muscles forward. So ultimately we want to make sure that those muscles are open and allowing your shoulders and neck to be in a proper position majority of the time. So we're going to do a good chest stretch here. So again, you're going to use that same beam. Place your forearm on that beam. You can also use a doorway for this. Just stand upright. You want to make sure that your elbow is at shoulder height or slightly lower. If you get any pain in your shoulder at this height, the lower you are, the better. You can even have your hand down here. Okay, don't have your arm higher than shoulder height though. Okay, so elbows at shoulder height, really good posture here. Take a step forward with the opposite foot. So with my outside foot, I'm stepping forward, and that's going to feel like a big chest opener for my right chest. Make sure you breathe. Big exhales. It should feel like your rib cage can drop. The rib cage drops into position. And after you do this side for a few deep breaths, we're going to turn around. That way you can see the back side here. So my outside foot is forward. Elbow is at shoulder height, and you're going to step forward. Big deep stretch in that chest. Okay, so all of those stretches combined are going to help alleviate a lot of neck tension, upper back tension, especially during that post-baby, that postnatal period.